Okay, today we're going to do multiplying positive and negative numbers. The first thing I want to do is I want to show you this. It looks kind of like a face. So this is kind of a good little trick or tip to help remembering how to multiply positive and negative numbers. Okay? So basically you cover up whatever one you don't need. Let's say you're multiplying a negative times a positive. Well, a negative times a positive will be the answer, whatever's under your finger. So a negative times a positive is a negative. So the sign, the answer of the sign is under your finger. A negative times a positive is a negative. Okay? So even if I covered up this negative, same thing. A negative times a positive is a negative. No matter how you do it, a negative times a positive in math is a negative. Okay? Let's say I want to multiply a negative times a negative. Okay? You cover up whatever you don't have. A negative times a negative is the answer is what's under your finger. A negative times a negative is a positive. What I say in math, 2 wrongs make a right. Only in math do 2 wrongs make a right. In life, 2 wrongs do not make a right. But in math, 2 wrongs make a right. 2 wrongs make a right. A negative times a negative is a positive. Okay? Take this, what I'm saying over here to 3C number 1. You have positive 8 times a negative 5. So the first thing I would say is look at your signs. A positive times a negative. Over here, if you have a positive times a negative, it's a negative. So your answer is going to be negative, and then all you do is multiply 8 times 5, 40. So that is your answer. Now look at 3C number 2. Negative 6 times positive 10. A negative times a positive is a negative. Okay? It doesn't matter what order it is. If you have one negative and one positive, your answer is always going to be negative. So a negative times a positive is a negative. 6 times 10, 60. Let's do this one more time over here with this little symbol, the face. So a negative times a positive. Cover up one that you don't need. Here you have a negative times a positive. The answer, the sign is going to be whatever's under your finger. Okay, let's look at 3C number 3. So a negative 3 times a negative 4. Okay, let's first look at what the sign's going to be. A negative times a negative. This is where I say only in math do 2 wrongs make a right. So negative times a negative. Cover up what you don't need. You have a negative times a negative. The answer is what's under your finger, which is a positive. A negative times a negative is a positive. Negative times a negative is a positive number. 3 times 4 is 12. So here your answer, positive 12. Look at 3C, number 6. A negative 8 times a negative 9. A negative times a negative is a positive. 8 times 9, 72. Okay, let's look at 3D number 19. Word problem. The fuel leaks at a rate of 2 gallons a week. What is the effect on the contents after 13 weeks? That's a typo. 2 gallons a week. Okay, leaks. That is a key word. If fuel is leaking, would you expect that to be a positive number or a negative number? It would be a negative number because you are losing it. You are losing the fuel, so that would be a negative number. So 2 gallons a week. So that would be negative 2 because you're losing 2 gallons a week. What is the effect on the contents after 13 weeks? Well, the first week, I lose 2 gallons a week. The second week, I lose 2 gallons a week. The third week, I lose 2 gallons a week, etc. What operation do you need to do? You need to multiply. So for 13 weeks, you're going to lose 2 gallons a week. So negative means you're losing 2 gallons a week, and then we're multiplying times 13. So when you don't have a sign on your number, it is implied positive. So if there is no sign at all, that's an implied positive. If you need to write a positive, that's fine. So now you have a negative times a positive. A negative times a positive is a negative. And then 2 times 13, 26. And so negative 26 gallons. What does that negative mean? Because it says what is the effect? That negative means you are losing 26 gallons. So that's what that negative number means, is that you're losing. Okay, 3C 20. Anna's flower garden is a rectangle that measures 7 feet, that little symbol's feet, 7 feet by 14 feet. What is the area of the garden? It's a rectangle. I always recommend drawing a picture if you can. Rectangle. So 14 feet, 7 feet. So what is the area? Area of a rectangle. Area of a rectangle is base times height. So this would be, the base is 14 feet, the height is 7 feet. They're both positive numbers because when there's no sign, it's an implied positive. A positive times a positive is just a positive number. That's something that you've already been doing all your life, you just didn't realize it. So you always get a positive answer when you multiply positive. I call that a positive rule. Then base times height, 14 times 7. If you need to do your multiplication off to the side, 4 and 7, 28, 9. So therefore your area is 98, and area is always in square units. So you can either write it as square feet, or you can write it as feet squared, which also means square feet. Either way. So 98 square feet is the area.